This incident took place in one of the states in America, specifically in the state of Arizona. The hero of our story today refused to reveal his name, so we'll call him Arthur. Arthur worked in a cafe and had never taken a day off because he loved his job so much and didn't like taking vacations. The cafe where Arthur worked was always crowded throughout the year and offered all kinds of food and drinks. Arthur was responsible for making the drinks and was well known for the cocktails and juices he prepared. On New Year's Eve in a certain year, the cafe was so crowded that there was no place for anyone to sit or even stand. There was a man sitting to the left of Arthur, and he was harassing any girl who came near the bar to get her drink. This man was bald, elderly, with yellow teeth, and had a disgusting appearance, which made Arthur feel disgusted and want to kick him out, but he couldn't do that to avoid causing trouble at work. At one point, the man started harassing a girl who was getting her juice from Arthur and said something terrible to her, causing the girl to look at Arthur with fear in her eyes, asking for his help. At that moment, Arthur shouted at the man in a loud voice, "Could you please stay out of trouble and not bother the customers?" After finishing his words, Arthur prepared the girl's drink and handed it to her. She thanked him and left, happy with what Arthur had done. The man looked at Arthur angrily and said, "Do you think you're a hero? Do you think she'll fall in love with you?" Arthur pretended not to understand the man and said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Then he continued his work as if nothing had happened. However, Arthur noticed that the man took out a bag from his pocket filled with some strange powder and began putting it into the drink of the girl sitting next to him without her noticing. This made Arthur furious, so he quickly moved towards the man, took the glass from him, and threw it away. He then made a new cocktail for the girl and gave it to her. Arthur wanted to kick the man out of the cafe, but instead, he decided to call the police. He called them and explained what happened, asking them to come quickly, but the police were delayed due to the busy New Year's Eve. Arthur continued working while the man kept a close eye on him. The man then ordered a strawberry juice from Arthur, who reluctantly made it for him. However, Arthur was feeling tense, waiting for the police to arrive. Suddenly, the man threw the glass at Arthur's face, causing him severe pain in his eye. The man then threatened Arthur, saying he would kill him if he didn't stay out of trouble, and then left the cafe. Luckily, the glass hadn't caused serious injury to Arthur's eye, only leaving a small bruise on his cheek. Arthur couldn't continue working that day and went home. But the next day, Arthur returned to work despite his manager asking him to take a break. Arthur was stubborn and insisted on continuing his work. The next day, the cafe wasn't as crowded, and Arthur kept working until closing time. A colleague asked him to close out the last customer before leaving. When Arthur approached the last table, he was shocked to find that the last customer was the same man who had thrown the glass at him. The man had a terrifying smile on his face when he saw Arthur. Arthur tried to hide his nervousness and asked the man for the payment. The man didn't respond, just smiling at him mockingly. Then the man finally spoke, saying, "Next time, stay out of my business, or I'll kill you." The man then grabbed Arthur by his shirt and punched him hard in the face. Arthur tried to fight back, but the man was too strong, and he began choking Arthur. Fortunately, the man suddenly weakened and collapsed to the floor. Arthur realized that the man was no longer breathing, so he carried him and dumped him behind the cafe. He knew that people would find him in the morning. Arthur had mixed sleeping pills into the man's drink, not intending to kill him but seeking revenge. This story was shared by Arthur anonymously, without revealing his real name or even the state he lives in. Although Arthur doesn't think he did anything wrong, he sometimes feels guilty about what happened. But in the end, he believes he did a small service for the community.